So for you, here's a home practice to start with, even before we get into more, because I want you to leave with some little nuggets. And one of the first home practices you can do, what I do is, it's easier to observe the moment-to-moment contact with our mood state from moment to moment and during the day than it is to observe our mood over time, which is one of the ways we think about it in mental health. So over time, you will eventually notice a difference, but the most perhaps gratifying or immediate way to start is to do a 24-hour chart for yourself. So you can wake up tomorrow, make a note of what time you wake up, and then write down everything you eat, drink, and smoke for 24 hours. And when you note it, just notice, are you noticing it with your 5 senses? How's your energy? How's your mood? And then go to sleep and notice how you slept and make a note of that. And that's your 24-hour recall there. And I invite you to just give that a try and see what you feel. My philosophy in Nourish Your Mood is that each one of us can be our own best teacher and guide. So that's some of the mindfulness aspect. And then what's the evidence-based aspect? What's the research aspect? So one of the things I can share with you is that I have a favorite book that I wanted to show you. And when I practiced with this, it probably was showing up backwards. So it probably looks backwards to you too. It looks like a mirror image. So this is, you could get a mirror and reverse it, but I'll tell you what this is. This is Nutrition Essentials for Mental Health by Leslie Korn. And she's really wonderful. And you know, Leslie Korn and Kelly Brogan and Mark Hyman and so many of the different people that have gotten involved in this field, just like myself, started from our own healing journey where something that we were doing as professionals was no longer serving enough to take care of our own needs around our own mental health and our own wellness. And we reached the limits of our paradigm and started to say, I need to learn more. So these are some of the people I've really enjoyed studying with. And it's starting to become a little bit more mainstream. The American Psychological Association and Harvard Medical School and the Journal of Clinical Psychological Science have all recently published some review studies about the impact of food on neurotransmitters and related studies. So the gut and the brain are connected through the nervous system, through a part of, and there's a nerve that goes directly from the belly upward and downward called the vagus nerve. And here's a couple of just research tidbits. So Scientific American showed that 35% of people who are depressed are showing signs through a blood test of something called leaky gut. And I'm not going to go into what that is. That's something that would be covered further in this seminar. In the other direction, starting with people that have known issues with irritable bowel syndrome, 50 to 90% of people with irritable bowel syndrome also are experiencing a psychiatric issue like anxiety or depression. So you can see that the influence is bi-directional, and it's quite interesting how these things are connected.